Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch no bandit run.
Smokey is the Bandit, Part 3.
Hello and welcome back to the B-Movie Rollout. Today is a look at one of the strangest comedy sequels ever made. Smokey and the Bandit is one of the most beloved Southern comedies of all time. It stars Burt Reynolds, Jackie Gleason, Jerry Reed, and Sally Field. And I won't lie, it's a riot. Good action sequences, genuinely funny, all in all, a very charming film. It's the kind of movie that begs for a sequel, and we got one in 1980 with Smokey and the Bandit 2. And boy, does it suck.
It's dumb and cartoony in all the wrong ways. Sally Field is more annoying than ever, Burt Reynolds is clearly sleepwalking through it, and worst of all, Jackie Gleason and Jerry Reed are basically sidelined to make room for a new cast member.
Buongiorno.
You a doctor?
Not yet, but I'm working on it. I got my green card.
Oh, god damn it. Well, there he is, the great ruiner of Burt Reynolds movies, Dom DeLuise.
Seriously, this guy sucks out loud. Whenever I see him on screen, I immediately reconsider whatever I'm watching. I mean, if you wanted to get someone from Cannonball Run to play a doctor, why didn't you get this guy?
Holy shit.
Speaking of the Cannonball Run series, we can see that Smokey and the Bandit 2 is really just a precursor to those movies, as it is simply an excuse for Reynolds to hang out with his NFL buddies. Anyway, when it came time to make another sequel, Reynolds wasn't interested, as he was working on other projects, like the aforementioned Cannonball Run series. Also, the film's budget was very tight, so casting suffered big time. Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed, Sally Field, and thankfully Dom DeLuise were all kept out of the screenplay to keep it under budget. Now this might seem weird, as Burt Reynolds' Bandit is the title character.
How they attempted to get around this fact is even weirder.
Jackie Gleason must come cheap, because the filmmakers decided they would put the movie completely on his shoulders, as he would play some sort of dual role of both Smokey and the Bandit, seen here in this publicity shot and recently discovered trailer.
I have put myself in his place. Also his boots, and his shirt, and his hat, and his coat, and his mustache. In short, I have succeeded in becoming my own worst enemy.
Smokey is the Bandit, Part 3.
It's unclear if Jackie Gleason was either supposed to do a Bandit-style mission, or if his character, Buford T. Justice, had a complete mental breakdown and assumed the personality of his nemesis, because that film was never released. It was received so poorly by test audiences that the studio decided to bring Jerry Reed in for some last-minute reshoots and cobbled together a new cut, which is what we're going to be taking a look at now.
This is going to be a glorious train wreck. So let's get this diesel trucking. Here's Smokey and the Bandit, Part 3. Roll it!
The movie starts off with a lame Star Wars joke and a recap of the previous two films, focusing a lot on Burt Reynolds, which is weird because he's not even in this movie. Then, suddenly, we're watching that patent commercial I showed you earlier. The Enos boys attempt to entice Justice into a cross-country race, but he insists he's retired. So we cut to intro credits set to another Jerry Reed song. Buford T. Justice, fearless law of Texas, the man who chased the bandit coast to coast. We can see that retirement sucks for Justice, so he goes back to take the deal.
If you get my badge, it's going to be a 7-pointed suppository.
Do you see the problem here? This is a movie about Smokey, but not the Bandit. It's like listening to Art Garfunkel's solo albums.
And before we even get to the 20-minute mark, the movie straight up stops trying.
At least the next scene is Jerry Reed.
You got the snowman, how about...
The Enos boys pay Snowman Jerry Reed off to pretend to be the Bandit so Justice will get distracted and chase him. Snowman ditches his truck and his dog.
I.e. his identity.
to get into character.
I'm gonna put on my bandit clothes.
Why the fuck do you have bandit clothes?
You ever join the Klan, Daddy?
No chance. But your mama did. When she put on her sheet, she looked like an iceberg with feet.
That should not be glossed over. The oh-so-hilarious Buford T. Justice was married to a Klan member?
So then we cut back to Jerry Reed, and what in the fuck?
What do you think, my man? I'll tell you what. You want to see a bandit? You looking at it bad. Bandit, I'm talking bad.
As he's driving, there's clip after clip of him talking to himself.
Never should have put me in this thing, brother.
I think this movie is actually supposed to be about Jerry Reed losing his mind.
We then see the laziest, most contrived way a woman has ever been shoehorned into a movie.
Hold it! Thank you. I need a ride.
So she just gets in the car. Sure, why not?
I don't want to foul up the plans or anything, but I didn't get any breakfast this morning and I'm about half starved.
Well, why don't we pull in up here and we'll get us a pound of ground round and put it down our neck, huh?
Sounds good.
And now they're friends. This is the point where it becomes very obvious that this movie was just scrapped together from a bunch of clearly rushed scripts.
Rare, Cletus, make them real rare, okay?
Rare. She wants it rare. I'm going to get it so rare a good veterinarian could have it on his feet in 15 minutes. What do you think? I didn't mean to wake you up.
Why are we even following these two? Isn't the plot supposed to be about Buford T. Justice?
'Cause I'm staying with you like stink on a skunk.
Ugh, speak of the devil. It's just another dumb chase scene.
I get that the goofball chases are part of the appeal of these movies, but after watching the work of H.B. Halicki and seeing the care and precision that goes into creating an impressive car chase, the stuff in this movie just comes off as cheap and lazy, especially since these chases don't even live up to the previous two movies. So, back at the plot, the Enos boys managed to push Justice to his breaking point.
Well, I guess that yanks my chain. Junior, it's hopeless.
A moment of melancholy for one of America's finest heroes.
But Boo, what about me?
I'm interested in pursuit, not party time.
Whoa, play that again. There is no way he said party time.
I'm interested in pursuit, not party time.
That was definitely an overdub done in post. What do you think he actually said? Post your ideas below.
Okay, so now there's a boat chase. Gosh, you think he'll run into Sheriff J.W. Pepper?
You picked the wrong parish to haul ass through, boy. Nobody cuts and runs on Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
We got a swamp full of black Russians driving boats to beat the dam down here.
Too much redneck for one universe.
As time is running out for the bet, the Enos boys drop all pretenses and just try to kill Justice. Then we get to the philosophical center of the Smokey and the Bandit mythology.
Let me put it to you this way. What good would the Roadrunner be without the coyote, huh? What good would the fox be without the hound, right? And can you have a bandit if you ain't got a Smokey?
Like the Joker and Batman.
No, you complete me.
Or like the Emperor and Luke Skywalker.
Fulfill your destiny and take your father's place at my side.
Or like how I can never beat Shadowlink in the fucking Water Temple. God!
Smokey and the Bandit Part 3 speaks to that great dichotomy of heroes and villains being nothing but two sides to the same coin.
We're not so different, you and I.
Speaking to that dichotomy, Jerry Reed just lets Buford T. Justice win for some reason. Justice spots him and moves in to make the arrest when the Trans Am stalls.
Then the movie pulls this bullshit right out of its ass.
I got you.
Hello, Buford. Well, caught me with my pants down.
So he's hallucinating that he's seeing Burt Reynolds, which means either he has now lost his mind as much as Jerry Reed has, or Jerry Reed is a shapeshifter.
So this is your big twist ending? You got Burt to show up for a couple of minutes?
And I do mean a couple of minutes. This whole cameo couldn't have taken more than a half an hour to film, and I bet Reynolds got a disgusting percentage of the film's budget for this crap too. He doesn't even get out of the car. You know, I've never really understood the cult of Burt Reynolds. This guy was like Hollywood royalty for some 30 years, and I just don't see it. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely got a few good movies under his belt, and he can turn on the charisma when he wants to, but my God, so much of his career is made up of sleazy, mindless, masturbatory garbage.
God damn it, I'm one of the most beloved grassroots folk heroes of America.
There is a strangely pertinent scene in Smokey and the Bandit 2, where he beats up a guy who doesn't like him, while insisting people like him, but never saying why.
I'm telling you, people love me.
And people still worship this guy. I've been to a liquor store in Georgia that has his face painted on the side for no fucking reason. Like, this is a place.
I don't get it. But let's break down where this movie fails.
Gosh, where doesn't it fail? Ultimately, the movie is just not very funny. And that's not coming from a comedy snob perspective either. I honestly think this movie's target audience would not have been very fond of it, which is why it was so heavily re-edited. The casting is probably the fatal flaw with this movie. I've always felt that although Burt Reynolds was the face of this series, Jerry Reed and Jackie Gleason were the heart and soul. So maybe they could have carried this movie without Reynolds. Unfortunately, this is not the case. Jerry Reed is really just more bizarre in this movie than anything else. Jackie Gleason, being a veteran of comedy, is able to occasionally make something out of the whole lot of nothing this movie's script gave him, but not enough to save it. I will say this. All of the funny moments are either with Jerry Reed or Jackie Gleason.
But more importantly, all of the Jerry Reed or Jackie Gleason scenes are not necessarily funny. In fact, most of them aren't.
Mercifully, casting cut Dom DeLuise and Sally Field out, but not the Enos boys, who are one of the worst elements of the franchise. I get that they are the series antagonists, but they do not have a solitary funny moment. They're not even fun to hate. If the budget was so tight, why didn't they cut out these two? And that's the other inevitable problem with this movie, the budget. The last movie relied on a big budget for its all-star cast, celebrity cameos, and over-the-top stunt extravaganzas. So if you limit the budget, you're really cutting this movie off at its legs.
So this one was never going to match the spectacle of the previous two.
And then there's that last-minute cameo at the end. When people say Hollywood excess, this is what I think of. This cameo is just so lazy and so lame, but I bet you 10 to 1 they had to beg him to do it. And the payoff is non-existent. They didn't even try to make it funny. They just wanted his face to be at the end.
You can find an extended version on YouTube, but it isn't worth the time of day.
So you got Reynolds on set for an hour. Here's an idea. Put his cameo at the beginning of the movie. Have the Enos boys call and ask him to run interference for justice first, but then have him say no, do that stupid little laugh of his, and hang up.
Okay, it's not gold, but it's better than what they did.
And my final complaint for this movie is that if you're going to shoehorn Colleen Camp into a pointless and just nothing of a role with no personality, couldn't you at least dress her up like this?
Is everything ready?
Oui, monsieur.
You have your instructions.
As you can see, because of the numerous problems this movie has, as far as this series goes, it is easily, unquestionably, the second worst in the trilogy.
I'm not kidding. Smokey and the Bandit 2 is one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen.
Look, I'm sorry, folks. I'm a little irritated. Pardon me. I hope you enjoy the movie, but I am leaving. Bye.
And now to play us out, a series of politically incorrect jokes from this movie that have not aged well. Enjoy.
I ain't scared of these crackers. I'm black and I'm proud.
Yeah, with 300 years experience, tells me that you ain't being nothing but black and loud.
You woman's lib, son bitch.
Daddy, my face is all white.
Well, put a little lipstick on, I'll drop you off at a gay bar.
And the race is done. When the race is won. In the morning sun, just looking to the light. And I'm mine, you know, with a ticket for the win. I'm behind you now, and you can never win.
I want to wish champion.